Good morning, people of YouTube and Facebook. Thought I'd say hi to you. Well, some people wonder what's going on. Some people don't. I get it. Well, right now the situation plays out as this. Back in February of this year, 2019, to be exact, almost the middle of the month. Pretty close to, actually, no, it was after a payday period. I signed a contract for $3,000 on a truck worth $20,000. Entitled in this contract was $2,000 a month for the truck and $1,000 a month for the insurance. Pretty fair deal. Actually, really good deal considering the insurance was only $500, give or take a little. So you know there's a profit margin just on the insurance through this guy. Okay? So, not a problem. Gets me tied in with a tow company out of Kitchener to run the truck under them to do some club work. And this club, I love helping them out. You know, if I had $1 million, I'd probably work for free for them technically, as long as I was running my rig. You know, awesome club. If you got a membership through them, greatest thing since flush toilets, providing you read your paperwork that goes with it. Okay, but that aside, that was back in February. Okay, well, I was working with them through him previous to that date. I think it was middle of November I started rolling under the club through this other company through him. Okay, and I'm not going to BS any of you. Okay, so any of you that think being a broker is, oh, it's the greatest thing since flush toilets, I'll have all this money. Let me explain this one to you. While I was working under him, through him, which means he was to pay the maintenance, he was to pay the fuel, you know, that kind of stuff, right? That was November. Okay? I was paying the fuel, getting him to reimburse me. So you make sure you got your fuel receipts. Okay, I was getting 30%. Which, we'll say 30% of $3,000 every 2 weeks is what, $300. So it was costing me a fair bit of coin just to keep fuel in the truck. Especially when you got to drive 50 kilometers just to get to where you're supposed to be. Alright. And I was doing it, not too big a deal. Now, November, December, January, we signed a contract in February. I'm still doing the same work, except for I'm the one collecting 80% of it, excluding the HST, which he was still putting in his pocket. Still to this day would be putting in his pocket. Alright? Well, we knew my truck needed a transmission job or something repaired in the tranny because it wasn't working right. And, you know, it had a slight leak. Well, it had a slight leak from November on. It's had a slight leak for going on, oh, probably 2 years. He didn't want to fix it, didn't want to fix it, didn't want to fix it. Well, it's a slight leak, you know. It cost a couple of dollars a month to keep the fluid up. Not that big a deal. Alright, not too bad. I get somebody to look at it. We find out that there's an issue in the electrical end of it. We get it taken care of. Truck runs pretty good as long as you keep the fluid up. Keep the fluid up, you're good. Okay. Well, in November, this party promised me some new rubber. Yeah, I'll get you new rubber for your rig. Okay. Well, November came and went. December came and went. January came and went. February comes and goes. I still never got my new rubber. Alright. Now, this is not cool. So, as time goes on, just making a long story really short, I get flat tires just by looking at the tire the wrong way. you think's got to replace the tires now? Alright, so now you got tires you got to replace. There's over $2,000 a year for tires. You're thinking, that's not that bad. Okay, we're in December. Alright? Now, I have some tread on my tires. Legally, there's enough tread for the most part. I think. Don't quote me on that. But, I'm constantly checking my tires anyway. Slow leaks, whatever, because you can pick up anything. Well, we'll say Woodstock to Windsor and back cost me $100 a tank of fuel. Now you're thinking, that ain't too bad. 15 to 20 liters for 100 kilometers, that's not too bad. Now do the math. You just went down there, if you're lucky, loaded. That covers your fuel. If you're lucky, you're loaded. Today, I just happened to be really lucky. I got one on the hook. So, not too bad. That'll cover my fuel down and back. But I'm only going down there to pick up a vehicle. The gross payout is $150. So if I went down loaded and come back loaded, or went down there empty and come back loaded, my profit margin would be $50. You just understand why being a broker really doesn't work that great. That's why you call a broker. Getting broker and broker and broker. Now, these guys have figured this one out. Alright. Well, I had the chance to get a truck that is, we really haven't had a problem with it, even though it had electrical issues. And I found out a little bit here and a little bit there what the problem could be. It's a wiring issue. So not too bad, we'll change some wires, Seems to have fixed the problem. But, that's all we were able to get into. People borrowed the truck and beat the snot out of it. So, a brand new clutch isn't brand new anymore. Well, the gentleman has to sign another contract with that truck included. $3,000 a month plus insurance works out to $4,000 for the pair. Now, technically, I've already from February, technically, mind you, he didn't give me the money on February like he was supposed to. Oh, you'll get that in March. Yeah, okay. So I had to wait 30 days for me to get any money to work off. Alright? Now that's for my rig. And that was $3,000 including the insurance, which, is a profitable margin right there, We'll say $400 to $500 profitable margin. Not a bad deal, right? Well, we're into December now. Do the math, $2,000 a month for a $20,000 truck. The rig's paid off with interest. Now you got the other truck. 18-month contract. Now, this gentleman paid $10,000 for the truck. And instead of, let's do the head gasket because that's the most common thing. Now, let's do one when after he got the truck, he pulled the motor and changed the motor. And didn't put a new one in by any means. Instead of an old school bus, which, they're not big highway runners. They're short johns go, right? Alright. So you get this. So he takes an engine out that was leaking oil with a bad head gasket, puts a motor in that's leaking oil. So, you can clean that motor and make it as pretty as you want, but it's going to be black within a week or less. So, makes a contract. This effectively starts the 15th of December, this month, 2019. Well, my logic states, okay, the last contract we filled, you wouldn't let me have any money till the following month. That means this contract that we just stated would be the same thing. Now keep in mind, this gentleman, up until pretty much the middle of December, the checks have been going through him before I see them. He's been pulling the rent, he's been pulling the truck payments right off the top. I've already got $6,000 invested in this 2-car truck that's technically following me. So, for a truck he was trying to sell for $12,000, I've already got half the money invested in it. And I know for a fact it never went through a legit safety. Reasons I know this: bed lights have not worked on that truck in well over 6 months. I've got to figure out why they're not working. Now the bed moves back, tilts down. You know, anybody that knows flatbed tow trucks, you know the bed comes down, all this wonderful movements. So I got to figure out why those lights aren't working. But is that my responsibility? Legally? No. It's not my responsibility, that's his. Same with making sure the brakes are all right on the truck before I technically acquire it. Those are, you know. But the other thing is, it's really cute, because that truck's got well over 10,000. Well, we'll say well over 10,000 kilometers on it, right? Like you're talking, 5 to 6 digits kind of stuff, you know, on the kilometers. It's 10 da 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 da. Where most of you guys, you get rid of your vehicles when there's 500 thou on them. You know what I mean? 4 years you dump them. Excuse me. So, you know, I get it. You know, I like you guys for that, because one man's junk's another one's treasure, right? I'm just not a fan of garbage made in Canada, so don't take no offense to that. If it works for you, awesome. I've never had any good luck with them when it comes to commercial use. So, keeping that in mind. This truck is getting almost to 1,000 thou. That truck's already sitting at 1,000 thou, right? Well, the safety slip on that truck, the odometer reading is so off that if the MTO looks at it, they're going to know it's a hot safety, because nobody ever looked at the truck when they did the safety on it. So, you know, they're going to look at it and go, oh, really? Ontario Inc., da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. And how many other trucks do you own? Not registered to you, but you own. They'll go through and they'll start cleaning up the trucks. Because if that one's got a hot safety that is completely illegit, you can look at the piece of paper, look at the odometer of the truck, and it's going to scream at you. And the MTO and OPP do look at that stuff. You know, it's one of those things where, how dumb were you? You know. Now keep in mind, for me to go and do this club work with this truck, back in November, I had to get a new safety sticker on this truck. Well, I had somebody, I actually went up and seen a guy, and I took the wheels off, and he took a look at my brakes and the steering components to make sure it was legitly safe for the road. You know, his license for his business is a really good thing. So to help him out, you know, I pulled the wheels, he did a check on it, and yeah, everything's good. Showed him the receipt when the brakes were replaced, which was weeks before I seen him. Not months, not half a year, not, you know, weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the most for this truck that I'm sitting in. Well, a couple of days later, after I'm sitting at home, I get a safety sticker with the safety certificate delivered to me. So I'm carrying in my wallet, per se, a safety sticker for the truck I'm driving that has never been attached. Now, any of you know anything about commercial stickers going on trucks? That sticker is to be attached on the truck by the mechanic that cleared it to be safe for the road. That ain't no joke. That's completely 100% legal, what has to be. So here's 2 strikes right there. Third strike, I was checking my insurance policies. Now, this has nothing to do with me, legal aspect. I'm 100% in the green. I'm good. I was looking at the insurance slip for the said truck behind me, technically. That expired in August. We're in December. Now, the sticker on that truck's good till January. Till the end of January, right? So how'd you get a new sticker without the insurance? Okay, you know, I get it. There's probably insurance, just somebody's being lazy. They're so lazy, they expect me to burn a quarter tank of my fuel to go pick up a piece of paper that could be just as easily emailed to me if the picture was taken properly of it, or have the, forwarded from the insurance company. Well, they don't want to send it via forward to the insurance company, because then I have proof that there's other trucks on the insurance policy that are not in his possession, be the polite way of putting it. So, it's one of these things where, what do you do, right? Well, the other day here, considering, as I said, back February 2019, I signed a contract with them, and legally I should have been handed the money on that day, since I was becoming the broker with the truck I was driving. I should have been handed my 80% of that check, not wait till the following month. Well, we signed this contract for December, much like I did with the other one, on that month. And what's he done? Stuck his hand out. He wants money now. Now, in front of a witness, he also sat there and said he wasn't going to be after any money this month. So there's a bald-faced lie. I tried getting the flatbed tilt and load truck up to a place that can do an actual safety. I want to know what's wrong, what needs to get fixed, so I know how bad this is going to be. Well, of course, I never went up there to get a proper safety done. It was supposed to go up there on a Saturday. I never even went up there. It went to a place in Brantford for tires, because they needed to be done. That was no arguing that one. To get the tires done, no safety. So we don't know if maybe the truck needs a kingpin, maybe the clutch is toast because somebody was hot rodding it too much. We don't know. So, in all aspects, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm also not telling you where I'm driving either, because the truck doesn't break down, the brakes work on it. I'm doing almost 80 kilometers heading down the road here, and it's keeping up with me. So, another good thing, right? School bus getting ready to go pick up kids. But if the MTO was to ever look that over, they pull the plates. Now, considering it did not have a legit safety and I signed a contract and it gets pulled, plates get pulled because of an illegit safety, that doesn't come back on me. No insurance slip does not come back on me. I'm not dumb. It goes on him. And any of you guys doing hot shot or running trucks, you've been successful running your own business, you know that the MTO gets out their ticket book, starts writing fines. Those fines are not cheap by any means. But you know, I get a kick out of it, you know, because somebody's got their hand out and they're trying to say that that truck that's following me's been on the road for 2 weeks. Well, no, it hasn't, because you can't be out there making money and fixing the truck at the same time. It doesn't work that way. It never has, never will. The truck's down and you're not making any money with it because you have things you know you had to fix. They know you had to fix. And there's no way in 2 weeks said vehicle is going to produce upwards of $4,000 when it's not on the road for that period of time. Okay? So, you know, there's some really dumb people out there that think they have a whole pile of power and think they're going to get away with doing things. You know, I'll be honest, you have a conversation with me, we're having a meeting, your butt's being recorded. I don't care what you think. I am part of the conversation, therefore you are being recorded. I bring witnesses in to the conversations for court purposes. I record things for court purposes. It's a given. I cover my butt. I'm not dumb. You know, I worked too many years doing things that some people, well, let's put it this way. Some people couldn't do because they don't have the skill. You know, I love picture windows. Is that a mile away? I can put a round through that and nail your frying pan to the wall at a mile away. That's why I love picture windows. You know, I'm not saying, you know, but that, you know, my previous career of choice of occupation was good money, and yeah, it was awesome. That's all I can say. It was awesome. I got supplied vehicles to drive, you know. I had an awesome career before doing this. But, you know, I needed to get out of it because I know it was going to happen. But, you know, enough said on that. You know, we're not going to bring my previous career to you. I went too far into this. But anyway, you know, when you make a verbal agreement with somebody and you don't think you're being recorded, you're crazy. Like your contracts, you might want to try reading the fine print, because nobody leases a truck off of anybody on an as-is deal. It just doesn't happen. You are responsible as the leaser to make sure said vehicle is 100% fit for the road upon day of signing the contract. A safe, legit safety is a very cheap, extremely cheap thing to find out. You might have to invest $1,000 into the truck so that you can make some money off that truck, or car for that matter. So, that being said, any of you guys out there think you're going to lease somebody a car that's not fit for the road, do a hot safety on it, you might want to think again, because it's your butt in a sling. And trust me, you may be lucky and not get somebody that's really smart, but you don't have to be smart when the police and the MTO get their hands on that vehicle. Spot checks are your worst nightmare. Or people like behind me that like going into weigh scales because they're upset is like your worst nightmare. So, just a heads up to all you people out there that think you're going to do an as-is lease. Those things are non-existent in Ontario. They don't happen. Especially if you're going to be paying thousands of dollars a month for said vehicle. When you know that vehicle isn't worth that. That tilt and load. Paid price to Canto in Cambridge area was 10 grand. That was technically for the bed. The truck was just come with the bed. So the truck was a write-off, buying the bed for 10 grand. Amazing how I know that. Throw another, we'll say 5 grand into the truck. Now you just put a motor in it to make it so that it can go on the road. Okay, the truck's now worth $15,000. Being nice, we'll say you can get $15,000 for a truck that only needed a head gasket in all reality at that time. Now, you got a truck, we'll say $15,000. I get you want to make some money off it, alright. We'll rack it up to $20,000 for that truck. Now you make 5 grand profit. Do the math, people. $3,000 a month for 18 months, ain't $20,000. My truck on the market for $20,000. Started making payments February 2019. And there was no way I could get around the payments because they stole the money right out of the paycheck. Therefore, $20,000 truck technically paid off, but was never legally safety for the road day one on the lease. So, would you want to be in this guy's shoes when the MTO get their hands on these trucks? Or a lawyer gets his hands on them? Especially considering this party has already been charged but not convicted of fraud over $5,000. Yes, it's still on your record, dude. I know you're gonna watch this. It's still on your record. It's not gonna go away. You need a pardon to make it go away. Trust from somebody that knows. The fact the money didn't come through my hand before going back to his hand is 100% legally theft. Just so you know this. If you're an employer, you're not legally allowed to take that money, rent money, truck payments, whatever. You're not legally allowed to take that money directly off their paycheck unless the two of you sign stating you can do that. I've never signed anything stating that. Nor will I. I'm not that stupid. Alright? So, there's 2 strikes right there. Now let's throw into the equation that a couple of weeks ago here, I had a paycheck for $1,200 using my truck. Because, let's be honest, my truck, being a one-car truck, it can only make so much at a time. Well, I got running down the road, you know, and this guy legally, in his brain, legally only in his brain, stole the whole check. Now he's been collecting the HST and doing this and doing that, and he stole the $1,200 portion that he was supposed to give me. Legally, in his brain, stole it. Now, I could put him in the court system and cause them to reopen the charge but not convicted because of that. In a heartbeat. You know, it would take no time at all for me to do something like that. But you see, this party's pulling its strings to try to get his hands on money out of me that at this present time I don't owe him. See, I got smart. I pulled strings left, right, and center to figure out what I could do. Well, since I'm leasing the trucks off of said party, well, that lease with the insurance being on it entitles me to keep the insurance policy with this organization that it was already going through, but to flip it over so that he's not in the equation to collect the check. It's an awesome idea. It worked great. So now he's not part of the equation. Well, in order to do that, I had to lose a little bit of money doing it. But he's no longer part of this equation, so he can't steal the check. Because, you know, you steal from me once, shame on you. You steal from me twice, shame on me. I don't let it be a third time. Now keep in mind, this guy has got a pile of invoices that there's still money owing on that aren't going to go away until the money's paid. So until the money's paid, he's got not even a leg to stand on. Anyway, I got to get this vehicle delivered and the other two. But I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. As old man Fanugan used to tell me, bless the poor guy's soul, if I don't see you around, I'll see you square. Keep greasy side down and the semi-clean side up. Tow drivers out there, keep your head on a swivel. Watch your six. Bye-bye for now.